Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Observable Flutter. My name is Craig Labenz. I'm your host, and today we've got a pretty special episode. I'm excited. Of course, it's not a secret what it is. It literally says it on the screen right now. So I won't waste a ton of time. I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. But first, a reminder, Flutter folks, our community has a great reputation. Let's live up to it. Let's embody it. We can do this. All right. And without further ado, today's guest is Pooja Bhaumik of Flutter GDE. No, I'm going to let her introduce herself. Puja. Well, I'm going to find the button somewhere. Welcome to the stream. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. This has been a dream to be on the Flutter channel for sure. So yeah, it's kind of a debut for sure. About me, I am Pooja Bhaumik. I've been a Flutter GD since 2019. I basically have been doing Flutter since 2018. I think Craig hadn't even joined the team then, I guess. So it's way back then. I've been doing Flutter. I've been loving it. I've fallen in love with it. I have a small YouTube channel where I sometimes post videos. Sometimes I write on Medium, and recently I've been doing more talks around the world. It's been very exciting to talk about Flutter with the community. And currently, I'm working at FlutterFlow as a developer advocate, which is we'll talk about FlutterFlow later. But yeah, it's been an amazing journey, but because it's still my favorite community. So I'm so glad to talk to you all about whatever we want to talk about today.
Yeah, welcome. A few thoughts popped in my head as you were saying all that. This isn't your first time on the Flutter YouTube channel. You are a returning personality.
Big screen, no, I think we have had reels, yes, but big screen, I think I was there on the live for Flutter Live, but I don't think the Flutter YouTube channel was there then. So I don't remember. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because you did Ask Flutter at Flutter Live, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was 2018, but I don't think Flutter YouTube channel was there.
And that was in 2018, you said?
Yeah, December 4th.
Okay, so that's so funny. I discovered Flutter in November of 2018. So you were already on the precursor to the Flutter YouTube channel, and I was so new to Flutter, I didn't even know that event was happening. I didn't watch. I had no idea.
Oh.
So you
Yes.
predate me by quite a bit in this community. And now you're at FlutterFlow, which we're both pretty excited to talk about today.
Yeah.
Let's see what I'm going to quickly read some chat messages. Excuse me. Randall never stopped believing. You put on your journey hat and you knew that this show would happen today. Now, when you say you never stopped believing something would show up in this time slot, did you? I intend for it not to be a mystery. Was it a mystery? Because if so, then I don't do enough to advertise upcoming episodes. So please let me know what you knew. Actually, everyone, did you know that this was going to happen before we started? I hope you all did. No code startup. This entire account is committed to the FlutterFlow way. Their very name is indicating that they would love FlutterFlow, and they do. Lets you build apps really fast. Let's see. Anyone else? All right. I think, we've got one answer here. I didn't know I got a YouTube alert. Huh. Interesting. I wonder how we could do a better job.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the notification was on for him, but yeah.
And Puja is the Flutter goat. Indeed. I
Uh,
recently used that with a non-native English speaker, and they were very, very confused.
I know. I mean, so John is actually a colleague of in FlutterFlow. So, and I've told
Okay.
him that if you use this in India, good is not a very good compliment for Indians. So, yeah.
It Yeah, I mean, it wasn't here either until someone just noticed that the acronym for greatest of all time spelled goat.
Yeah.
Before that, it was just like, you call someone a donkey or something, it'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, thanks. uh, Many have been canceled. This one was promoted only when I saw it show up on the live upcoming slot, and that was yesterday. That is probably about when it went live. So, all right. Anyway, yeah, always still brainstorming how to make sure folks who care, folks who want to show up, are able to. Okay. All right. Last thing before we get started, some more Puja love. Well,
Thank
who among
you.
us could claim anything different? Okay. So it's gonna be oh yeah, I need to share my screen today. I forgot. I do this differently when there's a guest. So I'm going to share my screen,
Mm-hmm.
an entire screen. It'll be this one. There we are. And I will add it. And there we go. Puja, our backgrounds look kind of similar. It's like we could be next to each other in the same room.
Yeah.
We aren't.
Mine
Really,
is weird.
yeah, mine's not. I'm sitting in front of a green screen. Okay, so Puja, today we're going to build something with FlutterFlow, as of course you know, but for everyone else, Pooja's going to guide me through it. I have seen the same FlutterFlow resources on the YouTube channel that you all have seen. I have never used it, and today that streak ends. I just created my account, and Pooja advised me that I should have a Firebase project ready to go. So I clicked through those buttons as well, and I haven't done a single other thing with that Firebase project. I don't even know what we're building today. Puja, what are we building today?
All right. So I think that you build a lot of games in this segment. So I was like thinking, what's the most iconic game that we have played in our lives? And that can be, since you're learning it for the first time, I mean, something that's also easy and also like, we can use all nice animations and Firebase and stuff like that. So do you remember Tic-Tac-Toe, the EXO game?
I certainly do.
Yeah.
I was wondering what you were going to say for most iconic game we've played in our lives. And Tic-Tac-Toe is probably...
No?
Yeah. No, I think that's a good pick. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I grew up. That's the game that I played while growing up. So, yeah. I mean, at least when like teachers used to have like boring classes, that's all we used to do. So, yeah. So we can play or like build Tic-Tac-Toe, but I think we can have a lot of features where it's not just playing with two players, but also like playing with AI, maybe using the OpenAI API, or even having a game like a list page where we can show all the games that's being played around the world. We can use Firebase to host that data. So we can do that, and yeah, we'll see what we can cover in this segment.
Guess the number I'm thinking is probably the only simpler game, or which hand has the candy.
Yep.
Okay, already an interesting question about FlutterFlow. Puja, to you, can I use FlutterFlow in MySQL or another database? Does Firebase have the highest priority?
We do have Firebase as one of like it was the first database that we integrated with FlutterFlow natively, and we have Superbase as well. We do have SQL in not in public right now, but mostly for enterprises. But then we are trying to bring it to public as well. But at this point, Yeah, natively, no. If you want to use custom code or you want to use something customization, you can probably, but I know it would be a little tricky. But yeah.
So you can always write your own code.
Yes.
So you could just write whatever code you need to connect to a database.
Yeah.
Right. But you have a lot of helpers in place to make it very quick to get going on Firebase.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So like the integration is more native of Firebase and Superbase. So it's like you will not have to write so much of custom code for most of it. But yeah, that's an option.
Yeah. Now, Vladimir asked, can I use MySQL or another DB? Of course, Supabase is Postgres under the hood, and I would always recommend we use Postgres over any of the other open source relational databases. Same answer for a bunch of chat messages just came in. Same answer for this, I imagine. You can use Mongo. Yep. Because you can write your own code in the back end. Okay. So we're going to make tic-tac-toe. And I was thinking we might call this tic-tac flutter flow.
Nice. All right.
Now, what should I click here?
Yeah, I want to tell you about this. That so when you're creating a project on FlutterFlow, we do come up with a lot of templates. So like if you know what is the kind of apps, maybe you want to make a home finding app, or like something you see like the things that are there, like push notification, customer code. So it gives you kind of a head start if you know if one of them makes sense for your use case. But for now, we would want to start from scratch.
Do a blank.
Because,
yes. How would I? We can do this later maybe. But how would I? This says like 10 screens. I want to see those screens. How do I do that?
You can basically open
just
it
click
for
new
now.
sample.
Yeah.
I'm not committing to anything if I do this.
No, I mean, it will just create a project, and then you can create a new blank project later.
Oh, but I already used the name tic-tac flutter flow, and I'm attached to that.
Oh yeah. I mean, yes.
Now
you might have to change
package
the name.
This is for I can change it here.
Yeah.
All right, this is just exploration. Observable. That's how you spell observable. Exploration. Now, okay, the package name, KilioChat.app. That was is that the template name essentially?
Yeah, it's the initial package name that it came with, but you can change it according to your project name.
Okay. Set up Firebase. I'm going to not do that now. I think we are going to do that with tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
All right, let's start building here. Okay, so yeah, I want to just see those 26 screens.
So to see that, if you see on your left, there's the purple icon. The second one is the one that will show you all the screens.
All the screens.
So you see all the pages. Yeah. So if you scroll down, you'll see all the pages that's part of this template.
This looks nice. My one bit of feedback here already out of the gate is it'd be nice to be able to peruse the templates in a lighter way than by making these projects, because I imagine these are like really impressive things, and someone's not going to make 12 projects to look at the 12 templates, but they might peruse them in a different way. Anyway,
we do have a solution for that too, but
brilliant. Okay, so let's back out of this and we'll make the real project. Maybe
you can click on the yes.
Here we go. Create new. Now we're back to tic-tac flutter flow, and we want the blank one. Oh, welcome. Congrats. Love it. Oh, no, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
Puja, you're my tutorial.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Here we are.
All right. Okay, so we have a blank project, and I think you should know what this tool looks like and what's happening around here. So before we even move to the code and stuff like that, I think getting to know the tool would be great. So if you can see, what you're scrolling at is the widgets catalog, and this helps you basically do a drag and drop. So you can just drag something and drop it into the canvas. If you want to, like, do you want to drop something in the canvas just to try it out? Maybe a text?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, all right. There it is. Okay, so now Oh, God, I have so many questions, but you go first. What are you going to say?
No, I'm just saying that once you have this clicked, you can see on your right that the widget properties are mentioned. So you can just change the properties.
That's
Yep. So like padding, the font, and stuff like that.
what did I do? How do I go
What
back?
did you do?
Oh, I just clicked on the
Yeah,
scaffold.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
there we
yeah.
are. All right, I do want to change the padding. There it is. Oh, top left. Okay. So is there a way? I'll just, oh, it's locked now.
Yeah. So when you have it
Oh, I
locked, it will
type
be,
here.
yeah. So when it's locked, that means that
It's the same.
all of,
Wonderful.
yes. Yep, yep.
Right. How do what's the easiest way for me to wrap this in a center widget?
So
Do I
we have
center this?
the alignment here. Just after that, like just after padding, you have the alignment. You can click on the center.
Frick. I keep clicking off it. All right. So here we go. Centered.
Yes. So if
Now
it's in
I
a
want,
column, you might want to column the have the center alignment to the column. So technically, we are not using the center widget to do this. We are using the align widget. So there is no expose of the center widget only, but we have the align widget, which you can align it to any of the positions. So technically, if you want to see what exactly is happening in the tree, you can go
I
to
do.
that second tab in the left side.
This one, widget
Yeah,
tree.
the widget
Okay.
tree. Yes. So if you see, this is inside a column. So that's why it's was not centered exactly to the center of the screen. So yeah, you can wrap it with a container or whatever you want.
Interesting. Okay, how would I one thing I'm going to do a few times here, Pooja, and I hope I don't derail us so much that we don't get anything done, is just ask questions to address like my own hesitation with FlutterFlow as someone who's just loves writing code and loves the control and thinks back to like old Dreamweaver days when I didn't like that kind of boundary between myself and the HTML. So is there a way for me to not just see the widget tree represented here? What if I know I need a center widget? Can I go into the editor and add it myself?
So right now, just to show you first the code, like if you see in the top right, there is a code sign just beside the green button, like literally the top in the app bar. Yes, yeah.
Oh, this one. Yep.
Develop. Yes, yes. So when you click on it, you can first view the code. You can download the code later as well. And yes, your idea of like that you want to add a particular widget in a way, it might not be possible through this particular UI way, because when you write, you can download the code, you can add something in a way, but that code is not getting back to FlutterFlow because we are overriding your local changes. However, if you really want to build a custom widget, then you can just use the custom section of FlutterFlow and build your widget the way. But adding it on the native widget that we have on FlutterFlow, which is exposed to FlutterFlow, that may not be exactly possible.
Got it. And if I make my own custom widget, can I then kind of like capture it as this a thing that I can keep reusing later?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. I think that solves it nicely.
So you can drop it to the canvas, the custom widget itself, and if it's, technically you can use it in any of the screens that you build. Yeah, and if you have a team account, you can always build some custom code and share it across projects.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just also, folks, by the way, keep asking questions. I'm peeking over at the chat and I'm starring a bunch of them later. So your questions aren't being ignored, but at opportune moments, I'll surface them for Puja to answer. So, okay, I have a few of those start up. Thank you, everyone who's asking good questions. So I'm done distracting you for now. So the idea is you've got the builder. It has the controls that it has. It doesn't have every control, but there is a place to just make your own completely custom widget, write whatever code you want, and then that thing that you create now becomes a thing that you can use elsewhere in FlutterFlow. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm going back to the app, and yeah, so back to tic-tac-toe. What should we do next?
All right, so let's see what we have on the connect tab of the left side. Like we saw the tree, but if you see the first tab,
Mm-hmm.
like after that, there is a storyboard. But since we do not have a lot of pages right now, it only makes sense when we have a lot of pages and navigation is happening and you can just like view the entire flow of your application. But right now, it's just one screen. So, do you wanna see the first one is for Firestore. When we actually do implement Firestore, we can check that out. The second one after Firestore is the data types. So if you want to create your own model classes, you can do that here.
Nice. So what are you thinking? Like a game class?
We can have a game class, yes.
Or like a
I think,
board or
yeah, I guess if we want to save this game object to Firebase later for all the games that people play, I think game object is fine.
game. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's add some fields. So what is the right way to store? I mean, you could imagine a string that's just 9 characters long, and it's either like blank spaces or X's or O's, and then you just map that to the 3x3 grid of tic-tac-toe. Have you thought about any more sophisticated ways?
Yeah, so I was thinking game could only store the player name and the winner information, but for the grid we can have a different data type because we don't let
I love it.
like yeah. So game could just be because I don't think it makes sense to store anything of the grid to the Firestore. So that could be a different data type, and game could just be player X, player O.
Got it. Okay. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, so player X
Is a
name,
list, is
it's not a
not.
list, and player O.
And this is a string as well. Oh,
Yep,
man.
you got it.
I'm not even trying to like butter you up or anything here, but this does feels pretty good.
Okay.
Okay, so we have our game, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're thinking don't even bother persisting the grid to Firestore. Oh, the winner is also a thing you were saying, right? Winner
Yeah, we can add the
name.
winner
This could just be
name.
a
Yeah.
string.
Yeah, it could be X and O, whatever it is. But so for the grid, I think it could be a different data type, maybe a grid item or something, which takes like X and O as a string, or like blank. It could also be blank, of course. So yeah. Game board could be like the parent, I think, but it should have a list
Oh,
of another data type, right?
so what I was thinking for the game board is literally just who's played what. So like the 9 squares and which ones are X's and which ones are O's.
Yeah, so I want to add more to like just the fact that okay, we have an X and O, but there could be more information we might want to add to each grid item. So that's why we could have a child data type under game board. So like a board item or something.
Okay. Just I'm gonna do whatever you want on this because I think you've thought about you have a vision in mind. So do you like the name game board or would you like a different name?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So in we can for now cancel it before because we need to create the other data type first. So let's create another one.
Okay. So game item you want calling it?
Yeah, board item or something or grade item, whatever you want. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
grid. I think that's a good idea. So grid item. All right, what are you
Yeah.
planning? What are you thinking of putting in here?
Yeah, this can have a mark or a label or whatever you want to call it, like for X and O or blank.
I see. What should we call this? Are you imagining? So, what's your full? I mean, there's a couple things here, right? It could be the coordinates and the value.
Oh, the position you mean?
Or
Like the position
yeah,
will be held by the list view or grid view itself. So the index, we don't have to store it here. Like since this is going to be a list of grid item, the index we will know when we
Oh, I see.
go through
Which
it.
where it is in the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be a list.
So label, and then this is just going to be X or O, so we can do just
String,
string,
yeah.
I guess here. Yeah.
Yep,
There's not like
yep.
an enum. Okay. All right. String
No.
looks good, and this is not a list.
No, this is not a list. But in
Now back.
Gameboard, yes, Gameboard.
Oh, so how do we add our thing?
Data type in the end. And grid
Nice.
item.
Grid item. And so this can be items.
Yeah. So it's a list. It's a list.
Oh, stinky.
Yeah, we can't edit
How do
it.
I edit this?
No.
There's no editing?
No. You can
In the
delete it
dumpster with you. All right, so this was items. Oh, it's interesting that it starts on data type, but I have to select data type again to actually get this other dropdown. So that's grid item, and it's a list. There we go. Okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yes.
All right.
Right.
What's
so
next?
we have our data types in place. Now we want to make certain global states like the game object, suppose. So if you see the third one, I think the third one is the app state. Yes. So here you can create, whatever initial global states that you want. So game could be a global state that is used across pages. The game object that we probably will be storing also to Firestore later. So this could be the game. Yes. And it's
persisted,
not,
yes?
no, every time you play a new game, it should, make a new one. Yes.
Oh, so persisted isn't to Firestore. It's like a local storage?
Shared preferences, yes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now we can have the game. So basically, we want to initialize the grid with blank, strings. And we might want to have one app state for the game object, the game board object, or the board.
Okay. So, should we make that in the game or
no,
as its
outside.
own thing? Another thing.
Yeah, outside. Okay. Yes, outside.
So, what are you imagining we call this one?
Board, just board.
Okay. And this is also not a list, and we're also not persisting this one.
Not a list. Yeah, not a list. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I guess if we need any other app state variables, we can create that later.
We'll come back. Yep.
Yeah. So this was a type of grid item, right? Yeah, I think. Yeah. All right. So
yeah, grid items are on the board.
Yep, got it. So I think the fourth one is for API calls, but we will not do right now. We can do it later, but you can, set up your API calls here. We don't have any assets. Then we have the custom code. We can get to it as well later. But do you want like a walkthrough of the custom code right now or later?
I do expect we'll get to it later. So maybe we'll just peek at it real quick here, but then not spend a ton of time on it. So custom functions, widgets. Okay. Oh, this is a drop down and we don't have any, so that's fine. And then we'd add something up here and we pick which one we add and then it appears. Okay, this makes sense.
Yep. All right. So I think rest are just like more other features.
Yep,
theme. So
we're ready to build.
I do want to talk about the theme in the last second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when you're building your project, you will have some color scheme and stuff like that. And if you go into your colors, yes, you can do that as well. So if you go into the colors tab, yeah. So here you can decide what is your light mode theme and dark mode themes for primary, secondary, tertiary, whatever it is.
Nice.
And yeah, that is how you don't have to basically this will create that theme class for you. Yeah, this is our AI feature. If you want to try it out, you can think of a certain I don't think that is enough information.
You don't think this is enough information?
What is a splashy tic-tac-toe game?
We're going to find out.
It's bright. like
It
it.
is bright.
It's bright.
It's
Yeah.
bright.
Yeah.
This accent color is, oh wow, it is literally quintessential green. Look at this hex code. Let's blow this up for
All
everyone.
right.
We are getting the platonic ideal of green here.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What's the
Okay.
dark mode like?
Dark mode.
Oh, that's the same. It's okay. All right. If you want to
Pretty.
save it, you can save it or
Let's do
oh,
it. It's a
all right.
splashy tic-tac-toe game for
Nice.
millennials. All right.
Okay. All right. So we have so yeah, you can also set your typography icons, theme widgets. So like if you have certain widgets that are like created for your theme, you can create it here and then use it in your screens and stuff. But for now, we don't need to get to that. We can go back to our tree and your canvas. The
Okay.
second one. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, Andrew says that's splashy. Yes. Yeah. All
Well,
right.
Commander. Okay.
Awesome.
So we've made a theme, we've made some
Mm-hmm.
data classes, and then we hooked up some app state
Mm-hmm.
to, well, we kind of attached some of those classes to our top level app state.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people are going to be wondering, like, what is the state management
Mm-hmm.
approach in a FlutterFlow app? How unconstrained is it? People love their very specific setups and, like, can they use them? I don't know
Mm.
if we're ready to answer that yet, but I know it's on everyone's mind.
I mean, just to answer it brief, we are using provider to basically as our state management solution for the application. There are certain questions about like, oh, can we use different architecture, different state
Mhm.
management solution? Technically, it is not possible because we are generating the code for you. So you cannot just plug in that,
Mm.
hey, I want Drupal instead, and like, there's
Mhm.
a magically generated code. Not yet, not yet. So we don't have that kind of a thing. We are basically taking away your time span of thinking about the architecture and the solution, and like like let us think about it. You just do what you want to build, and the generated code will have a good, nicely written architecture and uses provider.
Mhm. Mhm. I do want to talk about one thing. There's some folks in the chat who are kind of wondering, like, why someone would use a tool like this.
Mm-hmm.
Concerns it can delay learning, that kind of thing. And I do just want to say to everyone out there, personally, I don't think someone would really be successful with this tool unless they kind of have a sense of how Flutter
Mm-hmm.
goes, how Flutter works already. So
Mm-hmm.
and maybe Pooja, you feel differently, but I see tools like this as things for fairly experienced developers to who you already know what's under the hood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like back in math class, it's like the teacher doesn't give you a calculator until you can do long division on paper. And
Yeah.
that is a good practice in third grade. And I think it's still a
Mm-hmm.
good practice. Like, using an ORM is best after you understand SQL. But then these tools that just kind of like do get the boilerplate out of the way for you and help you think about what, everyone loves to say, get back to building what's unique to your app. Like, I
Yeah.
think those tools always still have a place, and there's different strokes for different folks, as they say in English. So if FlutterFlow's not your speed, like, that's totally okay. But I think this is going to be, this is going to strike a lot of people as like, oh, this does seem maybe nicer, maybe easier. And I hope some folks discover it in that in that vein and whatnot. And get some enjoyment out of it. But I hear you all kind of out there wondering, like, is this going to prevent me from learning Flutter? Like, if you start with
Mm-hmm.
this, it could be a challenge. Any other thoughts on that thread, Pooja?
Yeah, for sure, I think the idea that this is for learning Flutter, it's not correct because this is not for learning Flutter. Like if your entire goal is to learn Flutter or any programming language, then this is not the thing that you probably will be doing. But this is for like builders who want to build products and get to the market as soon as possible. And also having a little bit of knowledge of programming will help you do a lot of customizations, and that's where your Flutter knowledge will be very useful. But like I love coding myself, and I like doing it from scratch, but a lot of times I am never able to finish a side project and stuff like that, or like a project, because coding does take more time. And when I'm talking about startups who need to get to the market as soon as possible, companies who need to like reach the users as soon as possible, for them the approach doesn't matter, it's the product at the end of the day, if it's out there or not. So if you're thinking as a developer that you like coding and you're learning Flutter or want to learn Flutter, then this is not the right tool for you. But if you want to build products and you want to build products for your startup or company, and you want to get to it as soon as, like, reach the users as soon as possible, then you can think about it. So it's the approach that might be different. That, are you thinking as a developer or are you thinking as a product builder? So
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you just said, Pooja. I'm also approaching FlutterFlow and like this episode as someone who enjoys coding so much that I've always felt resistant to using these tools. But I just want to finally give FlutterFlow a really serious look and see what all it offers. And anyway, so those are my thoughts on all of that.
all right.
Okay, how do we build a tic-tac-toe board?
Okay, so we need a grid view, of course, and maybe we don't need an app bar, so we can remove the app bar from the canvas if you like. I don't think app bar makes sense here. So yep.
Look at that was great.
All
We
right.
probably don't need
Yeah.
we can get rid of the column as well, or put the
We
grid
can
view
have
in
the
the
column.
column.
Yeah, we can have, because if you want to like show the text for who's playing what and stuff like that, so we need a column maybe. Yes, we have a grid view. Awesome.
We got a grid, and it's below the text. I imagine we can just reorder like this.
Yeah. So
Oops,
if you want to
wanted to.
so there, if you,
Oh.
yes, there's like different colorings. If you see the yellow, the orange and the purple one, so one of them makes it as a sibling, one of them makes it as a child.
Oh, I see. Okay. I don't think this is what I wanted to do. Yeah, I'm actually struggling to put the text back on top.
So you can you can just, as the orange. Yeah, sometimes it's like I also get confused with the colors, but I think the orange one is for the child. So if you put it on column, it will. So yeah, you drag it to the column.
Okay, orange is child, so purple is, there we go.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Whew, did it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so we've got our grid view.
All right. So now we need a child, which will be repeating 9 times. So we can, it's just to create a child, you can click on that plus button, not like just the plus button. Yes. So now maybe container with the text.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to click this
yes.
again, and that'll text. Ooh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. You can center the container's child, so everything is in center. So if you click on container properties, yes. Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay, that actually did
Yeah.
fully center it. So the align widget within a container was able to center it.
Yep. All right. Now let's see if you want to do some properties of the container. Like in the container, we can add a border radius or something that we use. So if you scroll down, and if you see the border radius, you can add.
I don't, but I probably will.
Yeah, it's right there. The cursor is on it.
Oh, wonderful! Been a snake, it would have bit me.
It's
all
all
right,
here.
Let's.
So yep.
Ooh, love it.
And if you want to like only have a radius for one of the corners, then you can open the lock and just have it for like up, top, bottom, right, left, or something like that.
Right. So we could get real cute and only have border radius, like make our whole game look like just the top left square has border radius in the top left corner, and do that kind of all around.
You can.
But I'm not going to do that now because it'll probably take a bunch of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need 9 of these. What's the bet? Should I just add 8 more? Just duplicate.
No, so that would be hard coding it. I mean, we would want to generate it from a list or like a variable, right? So you can do that. However, doesn't make sense. So I mean,
Pooja, your shade. Ooh, reason in this shade, Pooja. You could do that if you were super dumb.
I didn't say that.
But it's what I heard. Okay, so I do love the idea of doing this from a list. So how do I do that?
All right, so you can go back to your grid view in your tree. Like click on the grid view in your tree. Yeah, you're
Grid
already
view
in your
tree.
tree. Yes.
Yeah.
And now go to your right and you'll see there's more properties in the tabs. There are like, I think 6 tabs on the, yeah. So the first tab is the property. Second is the actions. Third is, I forgot what it's called, but fourth is for generating dynamic children. Yes, so
Seems
you
like
can
what we
click on
want.
that. Yep.
Okay.
So now, do we have a list? Okay, maybe before we create a list, just to see if this is working, you can create a variable name, whatever you want to create, and then we
Like
can
what
check
what
the
what
value.
here?
It would be grid item because it's the so basically it's each item.
So index maybe
I mean, it will
0
already
through
have
8.
it will already have a index variable.
Oh,
So
okay.
item or anything item, maybe just item. Yeah, cool.
Item. Okay.
Then you have
What else
the
do I
no,
do?
you can go back. Did you are in
I
this
keep
office?
doing that. I don't know what I'm doing. I keep clicking
Mhm.
out and getting and I
Yeah,
didn't confirm,
yeah,
so it didn't save.
yep.
I don't know where am I clicking to do that? I think it's
You're
just
clicking on the
anywhere in the
canvas.
board.
Yes, yeah, you're
Oh,
clicking
it's
on the
not even
canvas.
didn't do it that time.
Maybe you
Did
clicked
do it
on
that time.
the.
Interesting.
All right,
All right, item,
so
and I'm going to confirm.
no, first you have
Should
to
we
give
set
the
a value?
value. So for now, just to try it out, we can do a random data because nothing is initialized yet. We don't have it initialized yet. So we can, if you
Okay.
see the random data, like here is where you can, attach your variable with a dynamic data type, a global property or whatever it is. So in this case, yeah, list of random strings. It could be whatever values you want to put there.
Can I leave them
So
blank?
I guess it will have. Let's see if it has a default value or not. Doesn't probably matter because we won't be really using this variable. That's fine. No further changes.
All
All
right.
right.
Let's
So now you
confirm.
confirm. So this means that now your list view or whatever view, flex view, is going to be attached to that variable list, and now you can access the data of that list in your list view.
I see. Oh, interesting. Okay. So in the text widget,
Mm-hmm.
we want to set the text to be that
Yep.
item. So how do I
So
do that?
right. So if you see a little bit of orange thing on top of it, yes, you can click on that
Right
and it
here.
will
Yep.
open the same dialog. And inside item, you can open the available options. So it's the string. It's a string, so it will no further changes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
And how
here,
do we use the value? Or we just already are going to use the value?
this is a list of strings, so there is no. It's just
I
going
just
to be yeah. So now if
okay.
you want to run this just to see if
I
things are
do.
working or not,
I
see
do.
the lightning thing at the top.
I do.
Lightning, yes, yeah, click on that. So now it's going to run your project in web in an iframe, and let's just check if you've done things right or not. And yeah, it's gonna take some time for the first load for sure. So you can go back if you want to. It's gonna take a 2-minute time.
Muaz points out this is low code, no code in general. So for
Mhm.
folks who love low code / no code solutions, look no further. This is a great point. All right, so it's cooking here. Actually, this is one of the moments where I like to ask questions. So here is one. These questions may go back a half an hour. Can people make their own public-private templates for others?
Yeah. We have a marketplace where you can have your templates out for the marketplace people. I mean, whoever's using FlutterFlow, they can just get it from marketplace. You can have paid or free. Like we just released Marketplace V2, so yeah, it's possible that you can have that.
That's very cool. I would love to view this app state right now. Can I do that?
No. Like, what do you mean?
Well, I'd like to just see my list of strings.
Yeah, I want to see if there's an error there. Can you go back to your dashboard and see that if we created more than one item?
Well, I think my minimum length was like 3, right? Oh, was it 0?
Length is, just go back to that same.
Is that not what I wanted to do? Did
So
I just do it wrong?
you just have 2 tabs open. One was for the test mode and one was for the thing. So yeah, you can keep both open.
Whoa. So should I just click this lightning again?
You can click it and it will give you a warning that's already open and it will open that link again. So yeah, click on it. Yeah, just open session and keep these 2 tabs open.
That. Okay, I love it. Okay, so back here on the grid view.
Let's see the list of random strings. Yeah, click on that.
There we go. Okay, so this wasn't a good idea. Let's go 3 to 9.
Yeah, and you can also have them.
I want to see a wrap.
You can confirm it, and on the max items, you can set a number as well. Like, no. Like just before the value. No, it's fine. This is fine. Close this, and yeah, here you can set like 4 or 5 or something.
So that feels like it's the same as this.
It's gonna take the minimum item first
of those
right?
2.
Like it will take 4, but if you want to like do 6 between that range, like you just want to hard code, like this is for testing only, for just hard coding it, then you can do that.
I see.
Like suppose if you want to build like a list where it's you only want to show like 10 items per pagination, then you want to have the max item.
Interesting. Oh, because that's what renders versus the underlying data structure. Right. Got it. Seems obvious now that you've explained it.
Yay.
Would you look at that?
Awesome.
Now, I think this... Yeah, it's wonderful. This restarted before I put the max item 6 in here. So I'm expecting now, if I go back and instant reload again, we should only see 6 things, right?
Yeah, it should. If it doesn't, then it's a bug.
As long as I saved. Okay, it's not asking me to save. 6. Okay. Great.
Yay.
All right, so let's go back to 9 because that's tic-tac-toe we all know and love.
Yeah.
All right.
So, now we are not going to do anything with random strings. We have to create our own. So basically you can, have initialize the board with 9 items. So now I think it's time we can create it in custom code, because I think it's easier there. You can create it from the UI as well, but it's probably like more clicks, I would say. So if I think the audience also wants to see some code. So let's go to custom. Let's go to custom.
Give the people what they want. Where is that? Oh, that was in the bottom left, right?
Yes.
Here we go.
Yes, right.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay. So what do I want to add here?
Action. We want to do an action. Yes.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. But you can name the new custom action as initialize board or something.
Game?
Yeah, initialize. Yeah. Some initialize.
Like board.
Yep.
Initialize. Generic. Smart. Okay, save the action.
I think not
too early.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to call it initialize just because then it doesn't, like, I'm just talking about like code variable names. So maybe since we are initializing the board variable, I would say no, then it's confusing because we have a game object as well. You got it? So
we what are we initializing right now?
Board, yes.
Okay.
So So, wait. So
Oh, and I
cancel.
have to write it.
You can. Wait.
Nope, doing it wrong.
You can do that, but so
No.
just to so here you see the green thing on the right. On the right, there's a green code on the bottom. On the bottom of them, action settings.
Here.
Yeah, yeah. So this
Okay.
just creates the you click on it, and it
Boilerplate.
just creates the boilerplate code for you with the written items and whatever you want. So you can copy to editor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pretty good. Pretty good.
and we can now. We don't have any arguments. We don't have any pubdev that we're
Dependencies.
gonna
Yeah.
add. Yeah, we don't have any written value. We're just initializing it. So what we can do is that we can initialize the board with a list of grid items that has the label as empty string. And now your question is, how do I access the app state? I'm hoping that's
Yes.
your question.
And also, which of these imports brings in the data structures that we defined?
I think it will be in your utils, I guess. So it is already imported. So it's if you just type ff app state, it's basically called ff app state. All the app states, so all capital. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And with the basically you can just add the brackets, and then you can find the game board object. No. Yeah.
Brackets like this?
No. Just a normal constructor
Just make
brackets.
a new
Yeah.
one.
You don't need to do that. You can just set it up. So right now you create. So right now it's basically in your app state file where this is a ff app state class, and you're just
Uh-huh.
accessing the variables in it, like
Oh, so there's already been an object of this initialized.
yes. So you do ff app state bracket dot game board. So
When you
brackets,
say,
the
but you didn't want these brackets.
round brackets, the constructor brackets. Yeah.
I guess I'm a little
So
confused. I thought we weren't initializing one, but
you just have the board, you access it,
mhm.
and now you can basically set it with any value. So this, if you just do a list of
Mm.
generate 9 items with initialize the values. So maybe we can do a list or generate.
Now we had like board.items, right? So is this what we want to set? Or do we need to create a board as well? Is there a way to see
It's already
like the
it's already
the
set
code that
with
already is run?
not in the code tool that I showed you. So
Mhm.
like in the code tool, you will only be able to see like the screens and stuff, like the components and stuff. But when you download the
Mhm.
code, you can find the entire code in your local ID or whatever, in a way. So at this point, I don't know if you
Okay.
want to download it, but you can set it up with a list.
Maybe. I think I do.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little like this code doesn't look very familiar to me. This looks like I'm creating something. Well, first of all,
Hmm.
what is the goal of this method? Do I return an object?
No, you don't return anything. You just
We don't
set the
return.
variable that's already initialized, and you just add a new value to it. So this is
So
initializing the board with a new value.
so does this code here, is this like a dot call function that returns a single instance or something?
Yeah, it will return a single instance. Yes. So
But
basically it will have a getter and setter in this app state class, and you're just basically now calling the getter and setting it. Sorry,
done.
setter.
All right.
So
So where you talk.
you can just use a list dot generate, and for each grid
Oh yeah, I
item
never do
you
that.
can have label as empty. Yeah, so 9, and then you have the index. Yes, and here you're going to return grid item.
Yeah.
Grid
Okay.
item. So now it's called struct here. Whatever is your variable name, we add the struct in your classes. So
Okay.
grid item struct, and
And
it
there we
will
go.
have a label.
Label.
Yeah, label could be empty
Oh
string.
yeah, we can do null or empty string. Yeah. I like
Let's
it.
not do lull.
All right,
Yes.
so we're going to do that. And then this will say this is now items.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Now items could be set to board. Yep. All right.
Okay.
So
This,
please
or
do
do you
not
know what
forget to
I'm?
save it though. Do not
Oh,
forget to
indeed.
save it. Yeah, it will go away.
Because we fought hard to get to write this. Now, this line of code here, line 15, this seems like unusual, right? I don't write code like this, which isn't to say it's bad, but it does make me kind of want to see at least this class definition. I think that would really be helpful. And you're saying
If
for that we'd have to download all the code?
yeah, you have to download the code. The entire project, a Flutter project, you cannot access it on the UI, the entire thing. But
Uh-huh.
for this
We can
particular
download
class will not be in that. Yeah. So yeah, you saved it. Thank you. I thought you were gonna forget saving and move because you have to write that again. Awesome.
So when you said this particular class won't be in there, it's the F app state class, and that won't be where?
So if you open that code thing at the top right, I'll show you what are the classes that is there. So if you see view code,
Ah.
if you see it's only the pages, the pubspec, the Firestore indexes, and if you write any components, it will only be shown in the UI here. But when you download the project, the entire Flutter project will be available for you to check any of the generated code and stuff like that.
Okay. Can we do that real quick?
You can you can download it and then access it. Yeah, I mean, just it will take a minute or something. So yeah,
Okay.
it's the same developer menu, and there you see
Oh,
a
okay.
download code, the third one.
Ah,
Yeah.
great. This is going to be super interesting.
Mhm.
And it's already almost done. And it's in my downloads folder. Okay. So tic-tac FlutterFlow. I'm going to drag this into VS Code. Here we are. Okay.
So if you search in your, I think, like if you just open that initialize board, you can just backtrack to the, yeah.
Okay. I guess we have to run pubget. This is also answering another question I know people have, which is just, does FlutterFlow have vendor lock-in? Sure doesn't look like it.
You can run with it and never look back.
Yeah, not having vendor lock-in be part of a company's strategy is always nice.
So you're in the latest version. Can you just go back to PubSpec and like make this to 0.18.1?
What was it? Localizations.
EIN.
Okay, so what is the deal here?
You have to set the internationalization package, INTL.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
I see.
2, 1. Yeah.
Oh, and it's running FlutterPubget already. So now I'm just clobbering it with itself, but it worked. Okay, here we go. I'm so excited to see this class. Aha, yes, the inner instance. And then a call method or something that's going to return it. Okay, here's a setter that we saw. That's wonderful. Board, same thing. You love to see it. Bunch of other stuff. Oh, so there's probably a constructor that returns the instance, I'm guessing. Oh, return. Yeah, of course, right here.
It's right there,
Yeah. Okay. This is what I was guessing would be the case when we wrote this code, but I just wanted to see it to feel better.
Makes sense.
Sleep better.
Of course.
Okay, minimize.
All right.
We're back.
So we have initialized 9 items. Great, it's saved. Let's go back to our homepage, our tree.
Okay, tree.
Second one.
Homepage. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we want to like maybe initialize this on init state, right, of a homepage. So if you can just click on homepage, and now we are going to do some actions. So if you see the second tab after properties on the right, so the mouse cursor thing, yes. So this is the actions, which means that any kind of actions like navigation, opening a bottom sheet, Firestore calls, whatever it is, we call it an action. So any user triggered action. So now you can open the action flow editor. I want to show you the bigger picture here. So here is, you will imagine that when you have a lot of actions, there's going to be conditionals and loop and stuff like that. This will show it up in a flow chart format kind of thing. So it's easier to understand what's happening. So let's create our first action, which is going to be that initialize board. So you can just search for that action, initialize board, and it's right there. And we do want to like set state right after this because the UI has to change. So I'm just, the hack that we use is that you create another action after initialize board and just update app state. There is no set state like that, but you do update app state.
Okay.
Yeah, and just keep it blank. It's a blank set state. So if you ever have to like update your app state later, then you can add your fields. But right now we are, I think, not adding anything as such. This could have done in a different manner as well, where you could have got a return value from initialize board and then updated the app state as well. But here we did it from code directly. So now it's done. They can close this. And
now I'm guessing we need to go back to the grid view and actually use the real stuff.
Yeah, so now the value has to change. Yeah, the third one.
That was, all right, don't tell me again.
It's right there. It's right there. You're there.
Oh, we're on it.
Yeah. So if you see the value now, instead of, yes, it was the last opened one. So remove no randomization. If you see the pencil icon, just click on the pencil icon. It will edit the variable. You go back to that same thing. Now we have the app state. Yep, it's the board and data structure field.
Yeah. So what? Like, I don't know what this means.
It's just the fields in your. So if your board is like a class and they will have some fields, right? So now we want to access this. So if you click on that.
Oh, I guess I do because I want the items.
Yep. So you got the items.
Very nice.
It's done. Confirm.
Right, there we go.
Confirm.
And
there. Don't forget to confirm.
This isn't the first time you've walked someone through this. Okay, so now
I do that a lot. That's why.
I see. Okay. So, because we're still not using that.
We are.
Are we? Oh, because.
Let's see. I don't know. Just open it and see if it's pointing to the right data, like the item thing. Just click on that. Yeah. So we need to get the data structure field. No. Yeah. And the label.
Oh, there we go. Right. There we go. Nice.
Awesome.
So
we have to instant reload again.
Let's check it out.
And if you want to do a shortcut of instant reload, I think it's a Command Shift I on, like when you're in the dashboard, you can just press Command Shift I and it will recall this instant reload here.
Oh, even from the other tab.
Yeah. But you have to switch tabs to see it, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So,
okay.
It's empty. It's fine.
That's a two-hand shortcut, but it is nice that it exists. So this is great, and what we expected.
Okay. All right. So we did so we did like the structure here. Now I guess we have not a lot of time, and I want to get to the animation part and the updating to X and O part. What do you think?
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's add a quick another action, like however we make this clickable and then hook that into a function. Let's do that. And then I don't know how you animate a tic-tac-toe game, but if you have something up your sleeve, let's do that.
Yeah, I guess we can do first the on tab for each grid item. Now, a lot of you might have the question that we want to write reusable code. So for that, we call something called like a components, because this container text could be a reusable code. Like you can convert this into another widget class kind of a thing. So do you want to do that? Like it's obviously going to add a little bit more work of adding component parameters and stuff like that. But do we have the time to do all that, or do we want to just keep it
Yeah,
in the
we can.
tree itself?
I think we want to, like I said, I'm even coming into this from a position of just kind of deep uncertainty. Like,
Mhm.
can I still do best practices? Can I write
Yes, you
reusable
can.
code? So that's what we should show. Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that.
So if you see the container, you can just do right click on it, the tree, and you convert it to component. Yeah, there, yeah. So now we name it to maybe grid box or whatever it is.
Board.
It won't be board because board is the entire thing.
Oh yeah.
It's
So
each item. So
grid
box
item, grid box.
Yeah.
Okay. Great component.
All right. So now if you see, this will create another widget for you, which is your usable one. So now it is not attached to home page. It can be used in any of the pages, right?
That's
So
so good. Nice.
So we want to do an on tap. So if you
We
see the container, if you click on the container and then see the actions flow editor that I showed you earlier, nothing there. Yeah, just click on it. And on the right, if you see the
here.
actions flow, yes. So now you want to do some on tap. So add an action. What are we doing on tap? So we are maybe set it to X for now. So
I'm trying to click it and it's not.
It's already, if you see the circle, it's already on tap. So if you want to see it in the bigger scene, just click on open, like the action flow editor open. It's better to see it in a.
Yeah. What would I do here? I don't even know, other than like press escape to make this go away. What
Just
else
click
would I
on
do here?
open. Just scroll up and click on open.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we want to update each item to X or to
I see
whatever.
up here we've got on tap, on double tap, on long press. I didn't notice that up here.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Right. So
Select action is open, but we want to write some custom code, right?
For on tab, you don't have to. Because here we can access the grid box. Like there's no custom code required for here. You just search for update app state. Yeah. Okay, now add field. So now you're gonna, click on that and the board. Select the update type. So it will be a set. I think we are gonna update a field. So it's not the entire board object that we are updating. Add field. Now items. Now I think you need the index. Right? Update item at index, but you need that index value, because now that this is a isolated component, the index has to come from the parent. So if you can just right now go back to your component, and then you can do 0 as for now. Set value.
This just keeps going. Nice. All right, for now, we're just going to set it to X, but we're also going to have some global toggle, like it's X's turn, it's O's turn.
Yep.
So we're going to set the value to.
So you can, if you want to if you want to hard code it, then you have to click on that delete button for hard coding. Just go back. Click on that. Now you can just hard code it. So make it X. Maybe. Cool. Done.
Nice.
So at this point,
have to save here. Or are we good?
No, it's fine. Here, this is going to rebuild the current component.
But we need to have the parameter, like you said.
If you want to test it, we can test if the click is working, or we can just fix the logic first.
And it was Command Shift I or O?
Command Shift I.
Okay, I pressed that, and now it returned.
It didn't work probably because you were already having the action flow editor open. So click, now try that.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Nice. And love the Flutter blue colors across the top. Very nice.
Click on it. It
will
open.
Something wrong.
Is it because you did click on the first one?
It's no doing anything.
Let's fix the logic first. Like have the index sent from the parent.
Okay.
So for that, we need to create the parameters first. So click on the
Yeah,
grid
I saw that
box.
somewhere. Oh, right. It was up
Yeah.
here. Parameter. Great.
So, yeah. So here, click on the pencil icon.
This
Pencil
one?
icon on the top. No, the
Oh, up
first one. Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a parameter one. I think that is let's just send the entire object of grid item object. We don't need to send like just an index. We need to send the grid item object, which could be like the label and everything, and the index. So index would be
So
integer.
no
Great.
default. There we go. Add another one.
Yeah. Also, can you make that required index as required, because we need the index for sure.
Oh, we sure
Yeah.
do. All right. So this is going to be the whole grid.
But so yeah, the thing. So it's should be the data type. I think scroll down. Yes, right there. And the data type would be grid item. Grid item. Yep.
I see what you're going to do. Do we have to send, if we're sending just the grid item and not the whole game board, do we need the index?
We need the index because index is not part of grid item. The index is part of
Aren't
your
we just going to
list.
update the label on the grid item that we are passed?
No, like imagine this is like completely isolated. You don't know what you're updating, right? Like because you're updating the app state and giving it an index. This is just the UI component. This is just the widget. So, but we need to update the app state, which is a variable. And for that, we need to know which index we are at.
Okay, I'm still suspicious that we won't need to know based on the data type that we set up, or at least how I remember it, but we'll find out. We've got both of them for now.
Okay.
And
we should send it
now
from
we
the
can go.
homepage as well. Like
Yep.
we need to send it back from the homepage. So just to click on that again, the tree thing. There's a UI change that you can do. In the widget tree, if you see this, the last second one, click on that. Yeah, now it shows everything.
Oh.
So homepage in the grid bar.
Interesting. Okay. And it sees it and has grid boxes here. Great. So now we need to pass in a parameter.
Yeah. So on the right, you can pass it. On the right, if you see.
Yeah.
Like literally on the end. Literally in the end. In the end of the right.
Of this
thing.
spot? Or all the way over here on the right?
Yeah. Here, just scroll to the end.
Oh,
you're in the
bottom.
properties. Yep. So,
hey.
This is the component properties. And for index, you want to take it from the orange thing that you see, like the open the variable dialog.
Right.
And you have the item thing.
Item.
That will have the index. Yep.
Index and list.
You confirm.
Grid.
Now you have the item itself and no further changes. No, you don't item. It's the entire thing.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
We're not going to need the index, but it's going to be so interesting to find out.
Let's see. I don't know what you're thinking or what approach you're thinking of. Maybe it could be another approach, but let's see. Let's add that index.
Nice. Okay. I see. I just noticed this here.
Yeah. We'll
all right. So
it.
we've wired those through. So now I think we go back here to the grid box itself. And I'm going to try to remember how to do this. We want an action on it. Where was that? Don't answer. I'm thinking out loud. These are just the parameters. I don't want to click back to home page. Oh, where was the click? How do I get back to that?
No.
Oh, it was on the container. And is the container going to know about the things that we just wired through to the grid box, or do I have to wire them through again?
I'm sorry, what's your question?
So the container is where the click event is.
Yes.
Is it going to have, are we all in the build method of the grid box here?
Yes, this is an on tap method.
Got it. So the parameters of the grid box are available. They're in scope.
Yes, it's available. Yes.
Wonderful. So
what do you now? We're gonna fix that logic.
So we were here, app state board, update game board.
Yeah, you're right there.
When I edit this.
Yeah.
Okay, so update item at index.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'm wondering here. So we've got, yeah, the items. So this is, I think we can bring this back. We got past just the individual item, right? Update item at index.
You gotta update an individual item. You're not passing to anyone. Are you passing anything?
Well, I thought we passed in the whole item, but
Yeah, you have the whole item because you want to set the label and stuff for your UI.
Mhm.
But for updating the app state, that is basically generating the grid item list children.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You,
I
you got
think
it? Yes.
maybe.
What did you do? Like, did you change the
I
game board?
didn't do anything because I think. Oh,
Yeah,
item at
change the
index.
0 to the index. Yep. Awesome.
All
So
right.
I just
Now
want, I
this
want
still
to,
should have updated the 0 index before, but it didn't.
yeah, that's why I want to see what's the logic in the X thing. Like, is it right or not? Like, I want to see that. Can you open that
In which
update
thing
game
again?
board
Sorry.
thing? Yeah, click on that. Update game board, update grid item.
Yeah. So we're setting the value of the label to X,
It
and
should
this
work.
is, and we do have the empty set state wired up, right?
Yeah, when you're
And
doing app state, it'll okay.
this
Maybe
always
to
does that.
rebuild the page, home page. So instead of in the update type, instead of rebuild current, no, just keep it. Go back. Click cross that. The last thing update type, just rebuild containing page.
Okay.
And let's try it. There's an error on the top. What is that?
No test mode to reload. Why did it say that to me?
Because it's a 30-minute test mode. So there's an error on top. What's that? String property not set. Yeah. So you need to set the parameter one thing. I think that should be label
Oh, okay. All right. And that's in the
grid box.
grid box. So, okay, wait, I want to figure this out. Container, grid box, local component state variables. Do I do something here?
Whatever you want to update, if it's on the UI, just click on the UI. What do you want to update?
Ah,
Yeah, that's
oh,
it.
nice. Okay. So then this, okay, wait, yeah. Okay, that opened the same thing. So
Mhm.
now component parameters,
Yep.
it's
It's not
the
index. It's the grid.
grid. And then here, it's a field. And
Mm-hmm.
the field is the label
Mm-hmm.
and confirm. Default
A
value
default
is
value is required.
required.
Yes.
Okay,
Just
can I
give
just
it.
do an empty string?
Yeah.
How do I type an empty string?
You did.
Well, I typed a space bar. I typed
That's an empty string.
one space. Yeah, for our purposes it is, but it is different than an empty string.
I know. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to open that test mode because test modes are usually 30 minutes.
Okay.
And that, so yeah, let it open. And
Let's look at some questions here.
all right.
There were some other ones. So we got that. We've gotten that one now. We've also asked this one about vendor lock-in.
Mm-hmm.
So can custom widgets have children? I think we're seeing here a strong yes. So we've made this custom grid box and it has children.
Custom widgets, technically you cannot pass a widget right now. Like, so basically your custom widget is a separate component, but you're saying that the stateless widget has a parameter as a widget. No, that is not possible right now. If you want to have a parameter as a widget and pass it, that's not possible. But if you want to structure it in your tree, in your UI tree, that's possible.
So a totally dynamic child parameter where that parameter is another custom widget, that isn't a thing yet.
Not yet, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Let me see what other questions we've got. Aditya says, amazing. FlutterFlow is really making it easy to ship apps. And you are seeing me in the steepest part of the learning curve. I
Yeah,
have
and
never clicked around these menus before.
I think that's where the most of the hard work is, that to understand the tool, because it's like switching from Android Studio to VS Code. It's completely different UI and completely
Mhm,
different shortcuts. So yeah, it takes time in the first day or three.
mhm, mhm. Someone's excited. It looks like a lot of progress has been made since the last time they were here. This is kind of an
Mhm.
interesting one. Obviously, we're not going to have time on this stream. Can you design a simple login page? Just kind of
Yeah,
thinking about this, there are a lot in the template, but
yeah.
are there video resources for this kind of task?
Why is
Oh,
it not
Pooja.
working? Why is it not working?
Wait. Oh,
Oh, oh,
whoa.
wait. Why is it? Is it like a lag that you see here? Hmm.
Maybe.
So it's working with a lag.
I don't know why we just got so many.
You clicked on all these boxes, but it
Uh-huh.
only updated. I feel like I feel like if you just do another instant reload, in case sometimes the generated code might not be exactly. Hmm.
There does seem to, I think it's just, there's some kind of update lag for sure.
Just click. Huh. Just click on the outside, or like outside the grid, outside the
Uh,
grid, but inside the
oh,
screen.
in the UI, yeah.
Yeah, see, there's a set. Some
Whoa.
state is getting updated, but late. So
Interesting. Yeah, that is when it
yeah,
happens.
hmm,
All right, we're going to
maybe.
quickly test that it's exactly that. Bottom middle, tap. Bottom of the UI, tap. 100%. That's
Hmm,
what it is. Okay, Pooja,
hmm.
the FlutterFlow debugging experience. Uh,
Yeah. So
Whoa, I
if
did it wrong again. I clicked the wrong thing. Uh, it would be nice to be able to
Hmm,
go back to that session from here more easily. Wait, will it if I just press back? Answer no.
no, it's gone. I mean, it's gone, not gone, but you click on that thing again,
Pretty
and
gone.
you can. Yeah.
Pretty gone. Okay, so how are we gonna troubleshoot this?
Okay. So what if? Ah.
It
Okay. So
feels
what if
like
the label that you're passing to the component parameter is not getting updated or something? Because we are passing the label, right? The from homepage to
uh-huh,
the child. So
uh-huh.
if you go to your homepage
Yeah, yeah. Also,
and
why clicking elsewhere would have like a global set state is another question.
I have to see the code for that, what's happening in the, like, yeah.
Yeah, same. It feels
So
like one of the early, if you're early in FlutterFlow, I think there would be a common operation to just download all the code and see what the heck what you've built
mm,
is doing. And then hopefully you kind of realize, like I imagine really experienced FlutterFlow developers have done that enough times that the mystery is gone at this point, and
yeah.
they just immediately know where in the UI to go. And once you get to that point, FlutterFlow really speeds you up. Right now,
Mm.
obviously, it doesn't feel like we're being sped up.
Yeah, I
But
mean, in a way, I usually like connect it to GitHub sometimes, and like just pull the code in my. If I want to debug
mm,
something, then I pull the code in my ID from the GitHub account, from the GitHub project, and yeah.
mm,
But that's
that's
like
nice.
if you want to keep on doing it, kind of a thing. So I
Mhm.
want to see what's. So if you have the grid item here, just click on the item thing on the UI. Click on the item thing.
Okay. Yep. Trying to.
So that's the grid thing. So in the component properties, if you scroll down, we are sending the item completely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And update page on changes. Can you do that? The component properties, update page on changes. So if there isn't any change on the grid, yeah, maybe that's the problem. Yes. So basically, if there is
This
any change
feels
in the data type.
promising. Feels very promising. Boolean's wondering if we should send a key, and that's a good question. I think we'll be okay. I'm
That
kind
should not be
of,
it.
oh no, still didn't do it.
Mm.
Interesting. And then when I click,
Oh, did you do the command shift I, or like did you just do an instant reload? Because it might not have the completely new generated code right in the next
got it.
second.
Got it. I don't
I
know what
hope
I did.
this works.
I think I clicked the lightning again. And then that did something, and something happened, and then there was something. Now here we are. As you can see, I have a very precise understanding of what happened. And this, the bottom click isn't good. All right, the debugging continues. That was a good guess. I was quite optimistic it would work. It didn't.
That is okay. I wanna check.
I love phrase spirit here. Add a fake button under the grid, make it a feature. Nice. That's good.
Okay. Let's see. Just to check if in grid box on initialization, like if you go back to the grid box properties.
Okay.
Yeah, on the left, on the tree, you will click on grid box on the pages thing.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, and then click on the grid box instead of the container. Yeah, so like yeah, so this I want to see if on initialization, which is like click on the mouse thing, cursor thing. Yeah, the actions, basically the actions on the right.
Oh, right here. Yep.
Yeah. So if you open this will basically do everything on initialization of that component. So if I add that action here instead, or update app state,
which I type in here, update app state.
Maybe I feel like, okay, there's maybe something that I've done in Flutter as well is that if I update just the field, it doesn't update. Like if I'm guessing the problem is that if I update the item itself with new value instead of just updating the internal field, like the label thing. So just go back, maybe just go back. Let me try this. I think this is something that I've done in Flutter code also, and sometimes it doesn't update. So like go back to the actions.
One thing I do want to do real quick, just for our debugging purposes, I don't know if we're going to get the animations. I'm going to download this code.
You can view the code. Like this part will come in the view code as well.
Oh.
The on tap.
Okay. Then maybe what I was going to do isn't needed. Yeah, this is what we want. So we've got coming in the grid item and the index. Is there a way to make these not nullable, by the way?
Now this is coming from our own generated code. So this is how we. So basically, when you do required, so that's like if you just do toggle between required or not required, I think that you can change.
Got it. Okay. So I just made the things not that well. So that's fine. So on tap, here we go. So model update page.
Yeah. That label x label equal to x. I think that's not updating. What if we just update the entire E widget index? Yeah, line number 67.
Yeah. How do you want this to change?
So basically the widget index that you have in this, the current object that you're trying to update, instead of updating the field inside it, updating the entire thing with a new data type, which is like grid item struct and label equal to x.
Yeah, and so this is why I think we didn't need the index is because shouldn't we just be updating grid dot? Oh, right. No, we passed the grid. I thought we passed the grid.items thing. Okay, you were totally
Yeah.
right. We always needed the index.
Yes.
Now, where do we display this? A widget.grid.label.
Mm-hmm.
That feels correct. That's what I would expect to see there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it feels like this should work, unless there's something funny happening like in this kind of structural code.
I
Right? It
think
feels like this should
let's
work.
remove the label thing. I'm right now 99% sure that that is a problem, that the internal label updation is not actually doing a UI update. So because when we say update page on changes, I don't know if it's like getting to know that an internal field, that label has changed. So let's try it. Let's see if that works, because I am 95% sure.
Okay, so you want me to type what?
You can't type anything here. You have to change it in the UI.
Boo. Just kidding. Okay, so we're going
Go
back into the
to
container.
on tab. Go to update game board thing.
Okay, edit.
Yeah.
All right.
Instead of the update field, set value. Like update field in the last one that you see after index, not this one.
Set value.
Not, no. You're setting the entire game board. You're setting the entire game board that way. You're just setting update item at index. That's fine.
Still do
Update
this.
item yes. Give the index again.
Which I get from this. Okay.
Yes. And here set value instead of update field. Set value. All right. So now just create data type, the first thing that you see. Create data type. Grid item. Add field. Label and X.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I want to view the code again.
Yeah.
Let's see what this does.
Yeah.
Man, this feels like this should be the same.
No, I actually remember this kind of an error where the internal feed being changed does not notify that there is a change in the data.
Got it.
Like I have had these issues in traditional Flutter code. So instant as a reload, yeah. All right, let's. Can you reload again? Can you reload again?
I can. And I will.
All right, if this should work. Why? What is happening here?
Yeah, I feel like the change we just made, if we look at this code, view code, this feels like it should do the same thing. Before we were setting the label field on whatever was at this index, and now we're just setting a new object at the index with the label field set. This doesn't feel like it should have changed anything. It seems like this update page should be doing it. And I think that's where the issue is.
Yeah, I mean, like update page, you're saying that it's not updating it? The page?
Yeah. Oh, this is also interesting. Look at this.
It's watching for the apps. Yeah, this is where we're using the provider for watching for the app states.
So this is what should be triggering the rebuild, right?
Yeah, it should be.
So update page, this actually isn't calling set state or anything. What does update page do?
For that, you have to check the entire
Download.
code. Yeah.
Which I probably still have downloaded, but we didn't have any of this stuff in there. Oh, I did just download it. Let me make this change. I'm going to be like Michael Jackson and make that change. Okay, so yeah, nice. Pub get Flutter pub get. I should really alias pub to Flutter pub. Does anyone else do that? Is that a thing that people do?
What?
Like alias pub to be Flutter pub?
Hmm.
Why isn't this working? Frey says, I think it still renders the parameter it was passed in, which might still be the same. It certainly feels like it's the same. The update happens in the component, so the parameters don't update. First of all, this is the exact direction that we need to.
We are doing an update page, not an update component. Like not just an update component. We are doing an update page, which should update the components as well.
All right, let's see. What does this do? So it calls the callback, and then we update callback, and that says, so it creates a lambda on update change. First of all, is this nothing or empty string? Okay, so update on change is false. So our on update is nothing, and it isn't. Oh wait, this is also nothing. We are definitely not escaping the do nothing state with this code, right?
This is update callback, right? So if update on change is true, then we do update callback. I think that's getting passed, right?
So on update is update on change or update callback. But I just feel like everything is an empty lambda. There's no place where we are run.
Do you want to like try a breakpoint here and like if we have that, if we can do that?
Yeah. All right. I mean, I could just run flutter run here.
Yes, you can.
So I will do that. Where are all these problems? Just import things. It's fine. So yeah, let's add one here, I guess. Right. Oh no, I see. This is a. Oh, I see. Sorry. Set on. Okay, I was actually slightly misunderstanding the code here. For some reason, I was thinking this was all in one function, but this is actually just a function that returns a function. No, it doesn't return a function. It calls a function. That's interesting. Update change. Then we call the function, or this. I see. This could also just be like null, but it's just defining a thing. Okay, that's fine. So now I want to go back. I've lost the plot. So in update page, that's here. So we call the callback. The callback that we gave it is update board struct.
Yep.
And update item. So I presume these things are going to update this app state correctly. Then, excuse me. Then we call this update callback method. And update callback, this is where I was confused. I was thinking like all this stuff was together, but no, update callback is in fact nothing, right? And then there's this set on update method. So if set on update has, update callback equals on update callback. So this can be set. So the question is actually, have we called set on update?
Can you see the caller? What is the grid box is calling? Can you see? Can you go back to grid box widget? So it's calling.
Model on update. Now I do see somewhere a set on update. So I want to check this real quick. It's the only other place it's called in the FlutterFlow model. So what is this code? Wrap with model.
So
this,
I feel that we did a current page update instead of the current component update. If it were a current component update, it would have done a set state here at that on tab, right? But if your current page update, I don't think the page has any changes happening. The changes are happening on the component, right?
Okay.
So
I agree. We have not told it to update correctly.
So maybe we do correct the component, rebuild current component.
But I think that's what it was before.
but we did not change the list view thing. As I said, like the lists, if it's an internal field, it does not notify that there's a change in the list.
Okay. Oh, before, I think I'm following you finally. Not
Oh
here,
my God.
not here. So
Yeah.
this is old code. Update
This
items.
is old code. Oh, this is old
This
code
is
for sure.
old code. The
Yeah.
new code is
Now that should have a set state now. If you just go back to view code. So scroll down
wait, where is that?
on top, right there. Yeah. So if you see set state, now it's I think that should fix it because now it's updating the current component.
Set state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Then that wasn't there before, right? If we go back here,
No.
yeah, there is no
No,
set
it was
state.
not
And
there.
what made the set state appear? Just having it be current component?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Instant reload. Here we go.
All right. I'm scared now.
Big money, big
Yes.
money, big money, big money, big money.
What?
Oh, that's the thing gamblers say before they're about to roll dice and either lose their grocery money or win next week's grocery money. Big money, big money, big money. And then they roll and oh no, I have bad news, Puja.
It's a
Also, the bottom click only works once.
that's probably calling it's unlikely. Like this is oh wait a second. Okay. Let's try one more thing. Like go back to your on tap again.
So also like set state, right? This isn't actually model state, right? The set state won't do anything because
Why?
we're pulling this in from the grid. Or sorry, we're pulling this in from widget dot. We're not pulling it in from a parameter, like an attribute on
Yeah,
the
but
state
you
class.
have the update page on changes. If there is any changes, it will update all the elements of the home page.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Something like that should work. I'm just realizing right now this set state actually won't do anything because what we're rendering isn't from the state object. Right? Set state
Yeah,
doesn't
got it.
go to the
I
top of
get.
the app and drill back down. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Anyway, so
Yes.
what are you thinking we do
Okay.
next?
Go back to on tap.
Back to on tap.
Yeah, just click on that. Yes. Open the on tap for that thing.
Open. Okay, I'm trying to remember how to do that. Are we in grid box or container?
Container.
Container.
So in select update type, update field that you saw the the
This one?
select the where you see update fields. Yeah, click on that drop down.
Mm-hmm.
Should this be? No, it should not be. Should it be set? No, it should not be set value. It should be update field itself.
So the
Yeah, I wanted
difference
to.
here.
Yeah.
So set value was when we did this. It generated this code. When we had that was set. No, that's update fields. Set value. No, maybe not. Because we have update fields right now. And what it does is
I think I know the problem. It's probably because the update notification only comes when your object has a change. And in this case, we have a board object. Inside there is a list of grid items, and then inside of
board
it we are
didn't change.
changing. Board did not
Board didn't
change.
change.
Board
Okay.
didn't change. Maybe I mean we don't need. But yeah, I will have to change the the data structure in a way that if we just have a list of grid item as our app state, then any changes that happen in each item is going to give a notification to provider. So what we right now have is that items like inside items we have a change, so it's not giving a notification. Do you want to update the app state?
I do want to make it work, so I think my answer is yes.
Yeah, so let's go to app state.
App state, okay.
Yes, in this case, delete the board, or don't delete it, just keep the app state a new app state, and we'll just
Like a
replace the variable.
new app state variable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you
Name it
imagining
board 2. I don't know.
Nice. Okay.
And this should just be a list of data type. This should just be a list of data type.
Okay. Isn't this what we did before?
No, we had a internal items. We had a data object of game board, which had a list of items inside, and that had a list of grid item. I mean, if I'm confusing you, I'm sorry.
Remembering correctly. Okay, so we're...
Yeah, this is fine.
Oh, I see. I think I see.
Do you see what the problem could have been?
I do see what the problem could have been.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go back to the widget tree.
Yeah. Now, one thing is that now we have
to the initialization
so we have to
code, right?
Yeah, we have to find out where the errors are. So if we delete the board, it will automatically throw you errors, and we can just keep on replacing them. What do you want to do?
I want to do that.
So delete the board and let the errors come up.
Goodbye.
Bye. Sorry. So now we have
See
3 errors.
ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. All right. We put this right here. So
cool.
removed field.
Remove that. Add field. Board 2. Select update type. Now we have update item at index. This is what I want. Like, this is where it will give the notification that there is an update on the list. Index.
The index. We're going to update the field.
Set the value. I think just set the value and like create the label with the new data type. You create data type, grid item, label. That's fine. X.
Okay.
That's cool. Now let's see the next error. Update type should be current component, or I don't know what it should be. It's currently agreeable current component. Let's keep it at that for now.
Yeah. Okay.
Next error.
Generate children.
Okay, so app state, just pencil icon. Board 2. And that's it.
Okay.
Confirm.
And then
next. Okay, now the custom code, the error might not come here.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. I was going to say, I'm sure we have to change that. So this is initialization. So now this is just board 2, and it's not items. It's just this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Save.
Brief red squiggles.
Yeah.
Has this died? It has not, but it expires soon. We're on the clock. Okay. Command Shift I. Oh, ran out of time. We got to put in 2 more quarters. Okay. So.
Yeah. So that's a very common error that I found even in like any Flutter code as well, is that the notification of list changes will not happen if it's like an internal field change or something of that sort. So I have debugged this, like I've had these kind of sessions a lot. Like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, we're doing our best over here.
I know a simple thing took a long time in this one because we were debugging it. So it was one of the days.
That happens. Okay. Should take 2 to 3 minutes. Does anyone have a joke that they want to tell? This is a good one. Maybe folks have heard it before. What do you Oh, wow. This is a really American-centric joke, I'm now realizing.
Okay.
Folks outside the United States, if you get this, then just I'm unbelievably impressed. If you don't get it, totally understandable. And now here
What
we go.
is it?
What do you call a widget that lives in Washington, D.C.?
Hmm.
To have any chance, there are a few things that you need to know about the construction of the United States.
I have no idea, of course.
So there's 50 states in the United States, and
uh,
Washington, D.C. is not one of them. It is not a
oh,
state.
yes.
Same. Very close for a state list widget because it's not in a state. But you're totally on the correct track there. Same error, Pooja.
Do the instant reload again.
Instant reload. Here we go. Here we go again.
That's so weird.
Well, we're doing something wrong. We also are nearly at time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
maybe we can end with I don't know what the answer to this question is, but where might one go if they were working solo in this exact spot, stuck in this way? Is there like state update documentation? Are there videos that kind of walk through this kind of thing? How would I self-serve and figure this out?
I mean, I would just run it locally and like breakpoints, that if
Mhm.
the changes are happening and what is like if the build method is getting called or not. So I would just do a normal Flutter project debugging mode kind of a thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, just to see what the flow of the code is.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I wish we'd done this with a few more minutes, because that would be like a fun exercise. We've already deviated from this a little bit. I think we
Mm-hmm.
probably don't have time to dive into that here. Plus, then we'd have to figure out, you kind of have to reverse those changes. Let's say we make the changes in the code ourselves, then we'd have to come back and figure out like what do we click here to replicate those changes in the generated code. But Puja, we explored a lot. One thing that I think is, so I'm just going to offer some of my thoughts here. You can
Of course.
either throw these in the garbage or take them back to the product team or kind of whatever. You mentioned that there's been some, you've kind of run into this problem before. So it does feel like maybe a little better visibility for developers into that update state, update the UI flow. Because right now it does kind of feel like we're in the dark. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a control panel in front of us and none of the buttons are labeled. Obviously, there's
Mm-hmm.
tons of labels here, but we weren't able to figure it out. So I think maybe some kind of more straightforward visibility into kind of that inner loop would be quite helpful. The UI overall extremely strong. I mean, I think it's very clear that in terms of building a UI and then with the breakpoints and like quickly testing on different screens, right? This is awesome. This is very, very cool. Actually, I don't know why I don't know why there's 3 here. I thought these containers were sized to be 100 pixels. Somehow anyway, whatever. That's an aside. Um, so in terms of UI building here, I feel like FlutterFlow has just such a strong offering. Um, you know, I think for especially kind of experienced developers, there were folks in the chat who were thinking like, oh man, the wall between me and the state management code feels really thick, feels very opaque. And obviously maximum learning curve here, but we did bump into that a little bit. So that feels probably like maybe the highest priority area
Mm.
right now to kind of lure in more code first Flutter developers. But I love the idea of building UIs in the UI builder
Visual.
in this page. Yeah, making these reusable components. That feels very natural. So that part I think is really quite good.
Hmm.
Any thoughts, Pooja, on what we got through? Maybe other things that you've built, like what? Just anything top of mind for you before we sign off?
Yeah, I mean, like we did run into a problem which took the time. Like I wanted to show more of the features and more of what we could have done in a way, and but we are out of time. So I completely agree with the fact that sometimes the debugging part in the visual format might not work that seamlessly because, as I said, like even for debugging, I think we still recommend doing how Flutter projects are being debugged. Of course, when you're running it on web, if there is some kind of a console messages, they can still be shown on the web on the test mode. So whatever console messages that you're probably looking for, that can be seen in the test mode itself. But yeah, those breakpoints kind of a stuff, I think I still do that as a like a what a traditional Flutter project would have done. So like yes, at this point visually to debug that,
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that we are even like focusing on at this point, because we do love how the Flutter dev tools are used for debugging. Maybe we could make it easier someday to like use dev tools directly from FlutterFlow, but yeah, today we just
Mm-hmm.
use the same traditional method.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it certainly feels the engineering task of making the full state management flow and the debugging around it as seamless as you've made the UI construction would
Mhm.
be pretty enormous. But anyway, I troubleshooting difficulties and all, I had a great time learning FlutterFlow, kind of having this UI. Gosh, there's just so many things on the screen right now. Having that kind of I appreciated like the hand holding, the walkthrough from you, Puja, to learn where some of these buttons are and what do they mean and what would I click on and what, just those kinds of things. I had a ton of fun kind of kicking the tires in that regard. So thank you for coming on Observable Flutter. I think I'm gonna, probably continue to play with FlutterFlow in the future and build some UIs with this. It seems pretty great.
Yep.
Folks, I think we are at time. This might be the longest Observable Flutter episode yet. Puja, setting records everywhere you go.
Oops. All right.
Well, yeah, folks, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for offering your debugging tips and your thoughts and everything. I appreciate that as always. Um, gosh, I think we can call this one. Have a great week, everyone, and I will see you all next week.
All right. See you, everyone.